Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Review. I am your good buddy Roger.
And I am your good buddy Brandon.
And this week we're doing something. We're doing a review.
Yeah.
But right at the top, we're going to tell you we're not going to put a score on this one.
We're not scoring it. So Wonder Egg priority is what we're talking about.
Yep.
And we normally go through all our little stuff and we give it a final score. And I'm not even going to do the spiel this time. But we're still going to go over those categories. But the fact of the matter is, we're telling you up front, the show does not have an ending yet.
Yep.
It's straight up 12 episodes, one of which was a recap episode. And I'll say it right here, even the recap episode was good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
But it doesn't have an ending. It gets to the end. There's a lot of stuff unresolved. We are getting a special episode sometime in June or July?
29th.
June.
They announced it after the final episode aired.
Yes.
Because I imagine there was an immediate burst of salt.
Yeah, so at time of recording, we have just under 90 days before we get that.
Yeah.
Quite frank, I mean, here's the thing. This is an original show. It's not based on any manga or nothing. A lot of times those don't get stuff. I'll say right here at the top, you remember a couple seasons ago, or years ago even, maybe last year, there was a show called Stars Align that I absolutely fell in love with. That show got straight up cut down the middle. You ain't getting the second half. And dude was like, all right, bummer. Here's a giant cliffhanger. Later. Yeah. I still love that show. I still like this show. We're going to go over it.
Yeah, I would say that I mostly like this show, but towards the end of it, it became kind of obvious at parts that, like, how are you going to resolve this whole story? And then in the last two episodes, they started adding a whole bunch of pseudoscience bullshit in there.
It got different. Different.
I would have, I'll save that for towards the end. But
yeah, okay, that'll be your je ne sais quoi. But what we are gonna do is
I'm gonna call that section je ne sais quoi. What the hell happened?
We are still, God, we're still gonna talk about our categories, and we're gonna start with Roger.
The story and setting.
The story and setting. And what's that second one? Let's just go down the list.
The characters and development.
Number 3.
The art and animation.
Number 4.
The soundtrack.
And finally, that Good Buddies Wiggle Room, that
je ne sais quoi.
Yes.
What the hell happened?
Yes, that je ne sais quoi. Roger, what does that mean?
I do not know what.
I don't know what. And that's how we normally do it. We normally would go through these, give each of those possible 2 out of 2 stars.
Yeah. 10 stars. You guys, if you've been here, you know how it works. If you haven't been here, please go check out another review.
Yeah, maybe. But let's go ahead and get into it. I got a little something for story and setting. You want me to hit you with it?
Yeah.
All right, this ain't gonna make no damn sense. 4 young women encounter a couple of weird puppet men who sell them magical eggs, which hold the departed spirits of other young women. By defending these lost souls in their dreams, they hope to fully revive their friends and/or family and/or acquaintances who have also died. Don't sweat it. Look, it don't make a lot of sense, but basically that's it.
Yeah, essentially, by playing this game via these eggs.
Real quick, let's say up front, I've meant to say this earlier actually, this show deals a whole lot with trauma, including suicide, sexual advances by unwanted and otherwise, self-harm. This, if any of that don't sound
animal
good,
cruelty.
There's a lot of everything, yes. Yes, there's a lot of everything in here. It's gonna hurt. So
yeah, we'll get to it because you say it, but then I have like a good.
I just want to put that up front in case anyone out there is thinking, hey, maybe I'll check this out. Be forewarned, for God's sake.
One more thing I want to put up front is that I'm probably going to drop a few spoilers in here. So
it's gonna get
sorry, not sorry, but I'm gonna guess that if you're here, you're probably showing up because you watched it and you're like, oh,
what the hell?
Let's see what some other people think about it, and that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to tell you exactly what we thought about it, and I will get, because there are some things that I would rather you just know up front.
Yeah, it gets very dark, and it's gonna get spoilery. All right, here we go. So yes, the show centers around these 4 different 14-year-old young ladies.
They're essentially, they get these eggs to make this big grand thing happen of one of their friends coming back to life, or somebody they cared about coming back to life. But ultimately, you start to realize pretty quick on that seems a little Too good to be true.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting earlier in the series, we were getting those like, Madoka Magica vibes, like something horrible is going to happen here.
Nothing good happens for free.
Well, yeah, quite frankly, quite obviously. But it's not, the thing is, it's not completely free. They still have to, 1, buy the eggs, and 2, survive. Because while they are in this dream world, they are not getting hurt in the dream world. They have to save these other girls who they're trying to protect and defeat a big boss monster at the end.
They do have to buy the eggs, which I assume are like a quarter or 50 cents. They come out of a gachapon.
They do come out of a gachapon. But also we see that they do retain some of the injuries when they wake up.
Only if they do not heal there. That is pointed out. So if you are in the world, you can totally heal. But if you leave the world before your wounds are healed, or while your wounds are still active, then you wake up with them.
Yeah. So look, there are stakes.
Yeah.
It's not like the show just is,
it's true.
Nothing.
It's true. But essentially you're given this big opportunity or whatever with, what seems like almost you just go do this or whatever and there's you get something great for not a lot.
Yes. But you do got to do some work for it, obviously. Yeah. Anything else to say about story and setting? I mean, it mostly takes place in these girls' homes. There's also bits where you're at the school,
you go
dream
to
worlds,
dream worlds or whatever, which essentially look like the dungeons from Persona 5. Even the creatures look very similar, Persona 5-ish.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, well,
I tried to play that game. I got bored when they wanted me to clean my room, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, dude, but
I tried.
In the dungeons, there are creatures and stuff, and even the art style kind of is very reminiscent of the Sino evils and the haters.
They kind of look like shit.
And then of course, whenever the big bosses come out, I forget what the bosses in these worlds are called.
They're Muppets. They're big Muppets.
Yeah.
But so the thing is, it all ties into the stuff about the characters. So here's one big spoiler. Every one of these people, they are trying to bring someone back to life. That person is a friend or family member or someone who committed suicide. Mm-hmm. And the places they go in these worlds are connected to that suicide. Our main girl, hers is the school because her friend,
we're firmly into characters now. Correct?
Yeah, we're going into characters now. Our main girl, who is a shut-in, perhaps a manic depressive, lives with her single mother. She was bullied in school and managed to make a friend with Koito, but something happened and Koito jumped off the school.
Yeah.
And that's where her dream world is, and she's trying to bring her back.
She's heterochromic.
Yeah, she's got a blue eye and an orange eye.
And for whatever reason in this universe, she has been bullied for it.
Yeah.
Which
kids can be assholes. These girls are 14, for God's sake.
Kids can be real jerks. It's hard for me to think that a bunch of kids are making fun of her, this pretty young girl, because her eyes are two different colors. Kids are douches, yes, but I don't know. I was a bullied child, and I feel like I never ever saw anybody bullied for something like this. But I'm not going to take away from that it couldn't happen. It seemed like there are bigger issues that you probably could have went with and raised awareness to than heterochromia.
Well, I mean, it's bullying in general. The bullies don't need a reason to bully you. They're gonna bully you. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, next we also have Neru Aonuma, who is also 14. They're all 14. She is brilliant. She is serious. She is very smart. She is doesn't really like to talk to people at first anyway. This one, you find out her big deal has to do with her sister. You don't get a whole lot of detail from her. You do find out more about another character who she's involved with, and there's a decent amount of stuff about her that's just like, okay, you just kind of got to roll with it. I mean, again, it's a fucking anime. You can do whatever you want.
Sure.
Why not have a kid who's a genius and runs an entire company? Sure, that makes sense.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, her. Her shit gets pretty dark and then kind of just fades away. Yeah. You don't get a whole lot with her toward the end.
Yeah, and she has very notions of adults taking advantage of her. And, the fact that she is very smart, but she is also a child. Mm-hmm. It definitely feels like there's something. I mean, it's obvious. It's pointed out that there's something going on with adults or whatever, and them manipulating her in some sort of way or fashion.
Sure. You want to talk about Rika?
Yeah, Rika. Rika actually is a great character.
I like Rika.
Yeah.
Rika, you will hate Rika when you first meet her.
Yeah, when
you
she
will hate
comes
her more
in,
than everyone.
She is a freaking ass.
Yeah, she's terrible.
But once they open it, now, see, Rika has a believable, like more believable to than the super rich girl or I getting bullied for the color of her eyes.
Okay.
Rika is her parents she has a horrible situation with her parents. I mean, obviously you're gonna find in one episode that she only has one parent for one reason or another, and
just straight up Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
If you know what that means.
Yeah, and it's a big point of contention, and it's like I can understand a child wanting to know something that they feel like everybody else has and they don't.
Sure.
And also, she strives to do her best, and she wants to be super popular, something that kids, especially young girls, I feel like try to do.
Yeah, she is a former child idol.
Yeah.
Like she was a singer and whatnot. And
she just wasn't very good at it.
Well, yeah. And she did have one big time fan who was always there for her, always trying to help her out. And we won't spoil the whole story with that fan, but man, oh man, the shit's sad. Anyway. Yeah, Rika's one who's like really, like her, I feel like she got a really, really heavy amount of development in not a whole lot of episodes, and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all the development works with them. It's just some get a little bit more than others.
Yeah.
Rika in particular, like her shit gets pretty dark. Like you find out you see the scars going down her arm.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say that now.
Yeah.
It gets pretty dark.
Yeah. And she's one, like, I definitely was able to identify more on Rika's level because I understand her plight. And she's very driven by the heart,
Yeah.
And I don't know. She stuck out to me as potentially the strongest character in here. But we do have one more that is also very cool.
Yes, that is Momoe Sawaki, who is tall, slender, slightly boyish, has the short hair. She's
androgynous.
She is very often mistaken for a boy. Much to her detriment. The amount of characters that push their own, let's say, fantasies onto her because of how she looks is a real bummer. Yeah. Because she really just wants to live.
Yeah.
It seems like it's such a bummer. I do adore this character though.
Yeah.
She's man. Yeah, it's a lot of she's a very interesting character to me, but like the big thing is that like basically literally every, but a lot of girls, I mean, even Rika says, wow, you sure are handsome when she meets her. They one, mistake her for a boy, two, find out she's a girl, three, just kind of, hey, let's pretend, hey. It's like, can you not?
Yeah.
Like, she really just wants to be a normal girl, and yet purely by virtue of how she looks and her freaking genes, it's very difficult for her.
Yeah, and at one point, she straight up meets a boy, and then that falls apart because of how she looks.
She meets a boy, and the boy asks her out, and she's like, "This is gonna be great," and she puts on a dress and gets all fancy, and I'm gonna have a date. Oh, I thought you were a dude. Oh,
yeah,
it's fucking heartbreaking. I love that she's perfect and she's never done anything wrong. Anyway,
and then she is, according to the Uraka, she's kind of more the mystery of all the characters, and I would agree because it's a lot harder to she does seem a lot more normal than the other three girls.
Yeah, maybe
she is not as extreme, and she handles things a whole lot better.
Now you dropped a name there. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, the Akkas and Uraka.
Yeah, we got Akka and we got Ura-Akka.
Yeah.
These are two puppet men.
Mm-hmm. They're like straw men.
They look like straight up crash test dummies with plain faces, and they have little triangle mouths that light up when they talk.
Yeah.
And you find out a lot about them in the second to last episode. But boy, oh boy, they are some shit.
Yeah.
These are the dudes who are actually selling the Wonder Eggs to the young ladies. They are the ones who seem to know a lot more about what is going on than they are leading on. And then you find out some of it, but not all, by the end of the series. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say, some of it, but not all, but some of it, very little bit of it.
Yeah, some very little bit of it. Oh, boy.
If that makes sense.
This show goes places, and yet doesn't go anywhere at the end.
That's true.
We'll get to it.
But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up for characters and development.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gets their decent slice.
Yeah, there are more. Obviously, we have Ai's mom. We have Rika's mom.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Mr. Sawaki.
Mr. Sawaki, who is actually Momoe's her uncle, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And he is Ai's teacher, who may or may not know something about what happened to Koito. Yeah.
Who may or may not be a scumbag. They really leave it freaking open.
They do, but like that's the thing is, you gotta. Yeah, we can't talk about that too much. Yeah. How about that art and animation?
It's very good.
It's very good.
It's by far the strongest thing of the show. It's so good. It's such a pleasure to look at.
It's very clean, very polished. Like they clearly like knew what they were going for and they fucking nailed it. The thing that really pushes it over for me are those fight scenes, because the big boss monsters, these weird Muppet looking creatures, they just really make it work for me. They look so wild. They make no sense, and they're fighting these things. It's rad.
Yeah. And
some got googly eyes.
Yeah, this is a pretty believe it or not, it's a pretty amateur animation team that they have together on this.
They whipped ass.
They did whip ass.
I love them.
And also, there's some more about that I would like to get into, because this definitely is a show that highlights people with mental illnesses and stuff like that. And the making of the show seems to mirror that as well.
Really?
Yep. We'll get into that in a little bit, but in the what the hell happened to this show.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, the animation, it's good though. It looks
very
great.
clean.
I do believe they brought in what I read is that they brought in people to direct episodes, different person to direct each episode or something like that. So they all looked a little different.
Yeah.
But animation wise, there was one singular animation producer as far as I can tell. And the show tied together very well. It's quite a pleasure to look at. They did a really good job.
All right, I'm with you. How about the music and sound?
It's good. It's good.
It's decent. I like it.
Yeah, it didn't blow me away, but what they do is really good. The opening song is different and it's good as well.
It's very chill, very appropriate. It's a song about like moving on and growing up, which is incredibly apt for what this is.
I would have chose "Damn It" by Blink-182, but that's just me.
No, you wanted that. I woke up, it was 7. I waited till.
I don't even know what that is, dude.
I'm just a kid.
Oh no,
and life is a nightmare.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Come on.
You absolute garbage, man. Get out of here.
That's what you would have gone with.
I can't believe you know that many words, dude. Get out of here.
I do know the first verse, yes.
But the sound overall it's good. It doesn't hit on par with the animation, but damn, it does its job.
I think it's very well done. I think the sound's very good. I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed the opening. The opening really sets the tone for the show, I think, because it is, even if you don't know what the words are saying, it is a very subdued and very kind of melancholy song.
Yeah, it feels like it has a good bit of emotion that it's trying to convey. And and then when the song swells and it gets a little louder, I guess. Louder really is probably not the right word, but
it
the
swells.
vocals kick in.
That second verse, it really goes for
it's powerful stuff. It's good.
It's
and
very
the
well
animation behind it is also very good.
Yeah, incredibly clean. I mean, like just the clip at the beginning of Homegirl just eating her yogurt and like spooning the lid, and I'm like,
she scoops off of the foil.
It looks so good. It's such a simple thing, and it fucking rocks.
Yeah, she has a water pond outside. I really want one of those small water ponds.
Out there feeding her little fishies.
She's feeding her little killifish or something.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Shit's very good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I enjoyed the music.
I would probably, if we were scoring, I feel sound is probably a very solid 1.5 or so.
I'm with you. I'd probably go like 2 on art and animation, 1.5 on sound.
Yeah, I don't think the art and animation, like I would feel bad giving it anything under a 2.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Roger tears my asshole apart.
Oh, I'm not gonna tear your asshole apart, dude. You're free to like.
Tell me about the je ne sais quoi, my boy.
Je ne sais quoi. What the hell happened? Well, first we will talk a little bit about some of the stuff going on behind the scenes.
He's getting his notes out. Here we go.
I took some because I was trying to follow up on this, and I had read something that apparently in the production of the show, there was a lot of cramming going on, a lot of issues. The team was very small, it definitely seemed like they bit off more they could chew. And that is part of the reason why they got a recap episode in there, and it's part of the reason why it ended where it ended.
Sure.
But at one point, here's something that is very not okay with me. It's a big yikes. Is that the art producer, I believe, let me see, Shoto Umehara, he tweeted this out and then later deleted the tweet. I did find images of the tweet. Of course, it was in Japanese, so I couldn't directly translate it, but somebody has translated it as, and I've seen a couple of people talking about this, the producer that even after getting wheeled into an ambulance twice, got a drip at the hospital and came back 5 hours later to run the studio.
Yeesh.
It's wonderful to have something that is more important than your life.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's rough.
So, if once again, I can't confirm this, the tweet is gone too, but I don't know who would make this up or why they would want to do it. And, like a community on Reddit or whatever has had a very that's not okay. And an anime is not worth your damn life.
Certainly.
I know Japan has different work standards and there's a whole lot of issues that go on there. And I don't want to touch on it too much, but knowing that, as I was watching the show, and I was like, dang, this is really good. It kills me to know that it's good because they were killing themselves essentially. They were getting sick working so hard on this show.
Yeesh.
To try to make it something special. And when, at the end of the day, it's like, video games. They talk a lot about cramming in the industry, but most of us just be happy if you wait.
Yeah.
Just wait. I know there's a whole lot more that goes on beyond the team. There are a bunch of jerks, that are above you that want stuff out in deadlines and stuff. But as a viewer and learning that, it definitely soured a little bit.
Yeah.
Me.
This is my first time hearing any of that. So shit.
So yeah. And in the show, it showed in the show. I think ultimately, the ending probably is the way that it was. Because this often happens with anime. They get cut short and they're like, all right, we got to scramble to do something.
Yeah.
And this show definitely feels scrambled. However, we are getting that, I will say that virtually everything in the show is left open. Not much is closed. And on the way out, one of my biggest problems with the show is on the way out, they just opened so many more doors.
Yeah.
They started dropping in parallel universes.
Okay. But the parallel universe thing did give us, I think, one of the most beautiful moments of the show, where Homegirl's talking to herself.
It did, but why do we have to? I guess that's the easy way to explain it is, well, here's a parallel universe. This character gets dropped in. That's the only way they could be dropped in, or whatever. But are all these other characters from parallel universes? Are they from our universe? Does it fucking matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
How did they get them from the parallel universe? How the fuck does this work?
It's magic, bro. You ain't gotta explain shit.
Yeah, yes you do. Yes you do. You can't just go episode 11 of 12 in and be like, or sorry, this is 12 of 12 in. Oh yeah, parallel universe.
I'm fine with it.
You can be if you want to.
That's me.
But it kind of fucking sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm with you.
And then on top of that, when we first talked about this show.
So hang on, I think I know where you're going, and I will say that there's a thing that happens in this show where these characters are given some help to deal with the stuff that's going on in these fights and in these dream worlds.
To deal with the jealous haters.
The terrible haters. You got to shake them off. They are given these little charms, and you speak the word into your charm, and a little adorable little animal comes out.
Yeah, little Lisa Frank looking animal.
There's a cute little chameleon, there's a cute little snake, there's a cute little turtle, there's a cute little alligator, yes. And continue.
So when we first talked about this show, I remember you and at least one other buddy talking, and
this show's gonna make me cry is what I said.
Yeah, this show's gonna make me cry, these characters or whatever. And I was like, I don't know. It seems like they could have resolve, or there is a chance that they could have happy endings. And through the course of the show, I was like, yeah, I kind of feel like they've got to try something sad. And then they introduced these little animals, and I was like, fucking great. Great. You know, like there was no chance that I didn't think, even if something terrible happened, like I deal with mental health issues every day. I love opening and exploring it. It does not hurt me very much because I'm kind of used to it. But then they added these little animals in.
And you were like, well, here we go.
Yeah, here we fucking go. They're going to go for nobody else but me.
Oh, baby.
And sure enough, two of these animals.
What you said was, what'll make me cry is if they hurt these animals.
Yes.
Roger, maybe not literally, cried.
I did not cry.
You not literally cried.
I was frustrated. I was like, why? Why? This is a fucking Walking Dead scene that we're going through right now.
It gets pretty gruesome, incredibly so.
Brutally kill two of these animals. Fucking brutally. And I understand. Yeah, haha, Roger. Some people are probably going to get to this point and they're going to thumbs down and they're probably going to shit on Roger because he's a soy boy. Whatever.
No.
Yes, that's me. I don't fucking care. But they brutally fucking destroyed these animals. They take meat from one of them and shove it in the character's mouth. Like, what purpose? What purpose did that serve other than to be entirely shocking?
I believe
you could have got the same emotion and the same sadness from one of those creatures dying or something like that in a much better way than they did.
Yeah.
It was fucking gross.
It didn't have to be so excessive. I will admit that. It didn't have to be so very gruesome.
Yeah. And like I mean, this is put a giant red fucking stamp TVMA or something gruesome. Like it is bad, and it, you know, certainly comes out of nowhere almost.
We talking when they cry level?
I'm talking, imagine your favorite pet you have and somebody brutally murders it and shoves a piece of its meat in your mouth.
That's pretty bad.
That's fucking awful.
It's pretty bad.
And that's the emotional, the huge fucking punch to your gut in the series so far. We do have the special episode, but you know, at the end of the day, you have at least one of the characters having some sort of resolve about them towards the end. The thing that I hate now too is, okay, so whenever the turtle died, I was like, I wish I could just turn this off. I really don't want to watch it anymore. Now I'm fucking frustrated. I'm not sad. I'm disgusted. And maybe that was their goal. And if that was their goal, good on you. But we are obviously reviewing it. I did enjoy the show. And I'm not going to say, like, I feel bad saying that ruined the show for me. I don't think it totally did, but I mean, it just seems so unnecessary.
Yeah.
So totally unnecessary.
I believe what I said to you was, how are you going to, and this was half a joke, but how are you going to know they're the bad guys unless they murder a couple of innocents and stomp a puppy or two?
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. It's not subtle, folks.
You know,
it's not subtle.
What I'm related to is another anime going on right now, or that just finished up with Jujutsu Kaisen, and there's a character that's put in, and the character has a mother, and then, you know, this character and their mother or whatever are very likable characters, and they do pass. And Jujutsu Kaisen does it so much better than what is done here.
I mean, it's still fairly gruesome, but not this level.
Nowhere near this level. It is gruesome, and it is upsetting. It's sad. That generally, you know, like, was a sad moment for me. Both characters. Where this was just like, all right, fuck off with that.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was so much, but I hate the idea of potentially letting that ruin the show for me. So I'm gonna try not to. But it just didn't seem necessary. And now I have the overwhelming dread as the, you know, characters are making I learns about this happening to the other creatures. And there are characters, the Akkas, that can just make it summon itself out. So now you have the overwhelming dread, at least I do, of this fucking lizard being out there. And I feel stupid as hell saying that, this Lisa Frank lizard, but you know, like, I'm like, you gotta put that shit up.
Goggles. It's got his little goggles on.
I don't know, man. It just rubbed me the exact. I knew something was going to happen, but it rubbed me in worst way.
I get you.
You know, like this, everybody has their triggers, and congratulations, you found mine.
Yeah, there you go.
I was pissed.
Very upset. I'm sorry it happened to you.
But that going on, I don't know, man. With the issues of apparently the overwork or whatever, and somebody going to the hospital twice in one day, like this seems, I don't know, it for something that I thought was definitely my favorite, you know, or one of my favorites of the season, like it did taint it a little bit for me.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'm hoping that by the time that, you know, June 29th rolls around, maybe I can slide back in, which brings me to my final point, and then I promise I will let you talk. How much time are you going to need for a special episode to close all of these doors?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to need to be at very least an hour. You at a standard, most special episodes are standard episodes. They're 22 minutes long, 25 with credits and ending. There is no way that I can fathom that they're able to wrap everything up in 22 minutes.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. You need, I would say that you need, because, I mean, really, every question is left open. They didn't give answers to anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, they start dropping in these characters, and there's ties in. Me and Allie we were doing some research as we were talking about it today. And we were talking about a creature shows up and has a very, very long name.
Yes.
And then we're talking about one part of the name, which is Evening Star. And we're like, Allie's like, that means the devil. That means Satan. Actually, it doesn't, because I was like, oh yeah, it's also a weapon. And I was trying to figure out which one it could be. But in fact, the devil and the weapon are both titled the Morning Star. The Evening Star is Venus. And then if you go to Greek gods or whatever, I went to the Wikipedia for Evening Star, which was like, this is the Greek incarnation of the god yada yada Venus. So I started clicking around on things, and sure enough, there's also a Greek god, the god of assassination, whose name is Thanatos, which is also another name that pops up. Like, okay, so there's some Greek stuff going on here. There's a direction. What does it mean? I don't fucking know, but there you go. Evening Star is Venus. Allie and I were both incorrect, thinking that it had something to do with a weapon or the devil. Yeah.
Oh,
it just opens a bunch of stuff up.
Yeah.
A bunch of doors that aren't closed.
Sure.
That's the best analogy I have for it. I keep saying doors open and close, but that's what it feels like. You went and left every door open in the house, and maybe turn on all the lights too.
Yeah.
And when your parent gets home, they're gonna be fucking pissed.
Because why is all those goddamn lights on in my house? Jesus, dude. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yep. There you go. There's my spill about Wonder Egg Priority.
I should have gone first.
Yeah. Go ahead, dude. I'm gonna be quiet and let you talk.
All right. I mean, I don't have nearly as much to say. I was just, yeah. So most of that, like the whole stuff with the production and everything, this is the first time I've heard any of it, and that's a giant bummer. Yeah. I mean, that definitely does change things, how I feel about stuff. But for the show itself, it has no ending, not yet anyway. I'm still hard pressed to say that this wasn't my favorite thing this season, even without an ending. I don't know. There's so much about it. Like I said, like I already loved, like there was a show called Stars Align that was cut in half and has no hope of resolution. I still love that one. Moreover, with this one, I am legitimately shocked at how this show could make, like, we talk about how dark it is, obviously, like with the whole suicide thing and the self-harm and the animals and everything. It's an incredibly dark show. The chemistry between the characters is so well done throughout it. I'm legitimately shocked at how, like, happy it is despite being about these horrible fucking things. And it's one of those where, like, as I'm watching it, I personally never felt like that horrible whiplash of ha 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 to oh fuck, like super dark to super happy or vice versa. I never got that. I think the show is just very well done. Now, obviously, there's a lot going on behind the scenes and whatnot. So, yeah, that's stuff you got to take with a grain of salt. But I don't know. I liked it. I can't deny that I liked it. It's a very well done show.
Would you still feel the same way about it being very well done if they didn't announce that there was a special episode coming?
Did I tell you how Stars Align ended?
Yeah, I think you did. I don't quite remember. I do. I have a similar Stars Align.
Yeah.
There was an anime show. It was Rotoscope. It's called Flowers of Evil.
Yeah. Yeah. You told me that.
And by the end of the show, they knew that, hey, we're not getting another season.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did essentially is they finished out the first book, and then they gave you a giant cryptic flashback of scenes to come in the books. Mm-hmm. Essentially a wave of spoilers.
It's like flash forward, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. I just said flashback, flash forward. A wave of spoilers of things that you're like, well, what the fuck does that mean? And that's how the show ends, with this big wave of spoilers moving forward. And essentially the goal is there to, raise enough interest to get you to go buy the books. And I have always wanted to buy the books. I will never find the time to read the books. That's what keeps me from buying them. They are thick, chunky boys, but it kind of like they played through the first part, and there's obviously a whole lot more that needs to happen, and we're never going to get any of it. You have to go read it.
Yep. Yeah, there's a
creative enough way to do it.
And I'll tell you, I promise you, there's a lot of shows like that. Some even this season. Let's go on. Yeah. Shit's rough.
Yeah.
I still enjoy. Again, we're not doing scores here. We had some little previews there, like we would probably give it this and that. I think when the special drops, we probably will.
We'll give it some scores then.
Maybe I don't know if we're gonna do a full another review episode. We'll probably drop it in. Maybe we'll put it as part of
we'll find a creative way to.
We'll have some episode at least where we're talking about what's happening that season, and maybe we'll mention it.
Who
maybe
knows,
we'll drop
dude?
it in a ramble.
Maybe the special episode will be lengthy and profound, and we will have enough to talk about.
And it'll just make you nut.
Yeah.
Make you cream your panties.
Because I feel like if the show does one thing, there's plenty to talk about. And you can definitely feel one way or another about it. They do that very well. And that's what, I think there's probably a chance that we will just do a second episode when the special episode releases.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But,
for the time being.
If I didn't know there was a special episode, I would be even more upset.
Oh, certainly.
You
were super pissed about fucking what was it?
Bloom Into You.
Bloom Into You.
And that ended way better than this.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't get to see that goddamn play.
I still don't know what happens in that fucking play. Yeah.
I would have been way more upset. But I mean, that leads me like just saying, hey, at the very last minute, hey, we put you along for this whole thing, and oh yeah, there's more to come. We got a special episode planned later for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that actually make it better? I guess so.
But I hope everybody's taking a big long nap before they even lift a pencil for that.
Yeah. Please get some rest. Please. I know none of them are going to hear this, but don't hurt yourself over the anime. Come on now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's just such a fucking bummer.
Yeah. I think, I don't know that I've experienced many shows that I was so hype about and ended with such a bummed feeling about, and not because the show was.
It really, for me, I'm with you, because I do have, I have feel bads about the ending, quote unquote, but knowing there's a special that's coming salves that a little bit.
Yeah.
Really, it's for me just all the behind the scenes stuff you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's what really fucks it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's behind the scenes stuff, and that's what. It kind of makes me feel worse about being harsh for the way that I feel like they left so much stuff open. Maybe this is the reason that they were trying to strew something together that was satisfying, and most of the time it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the show did work in a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, it feels like it's only part of it. Mm-hmm. And to me, that is, I hate to say that it's not enough, but at least we're getting a special episode. So we'll see.
We'll reserve our full judgment until after. Of course,
that. Yes, we'll go in with an open mind, and hopefully, more.
Just the episodes, special starts with the rest of the animals.
Hopefully, I'll be less irritated by the time that I go over the fucking animals. But
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there are still 2 animals to go, so God help me.
Jesus.
But,
all right. Well, let's.
I have a feeling, dude. Here's my feeling. I'll go ahead and get this out of the way.
All right.
I feel like these girls are gonna have a pretty okay ending, and at least one more of those animals is gonna get fucking brutally murdered.
All right. Well, bummer, dude.
Yep.
Let's bust on into the ramble.
Yeah. First, dude, we need to tell them that we are reviewing something next week.
Yes, next week we are going to be talking about our other favorite show from this season.
Something that couldn't possibly shit the bed.
You say that, and then like fucking dad just like goes on a killing spree or something. I don't know.
I would be very upset.
I would be fucked up. We're going to be talking about Horimiya, which is our other favorite show. I think both of us. I think these were probably our favorite 2 from this season. Yeah. And one of them, at least for Roger, really shat the bed. This other one's looking pretty good. So we're going to be talking about Horimiya next week. It's a really very cute romantic comedy that absolutely puts the pedal to the metal. You ever had one of those where you're like, man, it sure would be nice if they would talk to each other. And, you know, instead of just thinking about what the other is thinking the whole time, maybe they actually get together. Episode 1, motherfucker! Just watch the bitch. It's great.
It is really good.
It's really good. I've actually seen some stuff where people are like, I'm bummed out because the manga, like, they do, like, two or 3 issues in an episode. And it's like, I get that. I totally get that. As a guy who's never going to read the manga, I love this fucking show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
But yeah, we're going to talk about it next week. Next time, let's say, because we can't guarantee we'll be here next week. But damn, we're on like a 5 streak now, baby.
Yeah, man. We going on 6, dude. I feel it, dude.
I'm feeling it. Feeling good
it
about
in my loins, dude. I got my 2nd vaccination.
Oh, yeah.
I feel kind of fucking crummy.
You got that vaccine in your veins.
I still am not used to not having nicotine.
No, you a little jittery?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but
right.
it's okay.
Drink some more of that minty ass tea.
I will drink some more later. I think I already polished mine off. But it's okay, man. Let's kick into the ramble because I don't think it's going to be a very long one.
Let's go ahead and do it. Quick shout out to our good buddy Hoss for the closing theme on the main show. The ramble will be on the podcast form. It will continue to be on the podcast form. We cannot guarantee it will continue to be on the YouTube, but hey, there you go.
We also did get a question that we'll be answering on the ramble. So if you want to hear a cool question and give us an answer to the cool question asked, then be sure to check into the ramble to. You know what? I wasn't going to put this one up on YouTube, but now I guess I have to.
All right. Well, full plugs at the end of the ramble. And if you're on the podcast, we're going to be going right into it right about meow.
Love you.
Love you.